But some folks who aren't feeling Trump's optimism right now are American farmers, and they are stuck in the middle of all of this.
Frank, who did you vote for president?
Mr. Trump.
Right?
Trump.
Mr. Trump.
If the election were today, Frank, would you vote for Donald Trump?
No way. Couldn't happen.
No.
You voted for President Trump. So now, in this moment, you say you're in a free fall. What is your message to him?
So I'm off the Trump train. Where I'm going for now is I got to protect my business.
A wheat farmer who says he's lost $400,000 since Trump took office.
I think there was a lot of people who voted for him that want to stay loyal to him, but it's going to get to the point where financially, if it's between supporting the president or losing your family farm.
You voted for the president?
Yes, I did.
And do you support these policies which might be hurting farmers like you?
Right now, we're the ones that are taking the hit.
I think he's sort of backstabbing the main people who got him into office in the Midwest, and he just left us down.
I might lose my farm because of the government. NRCS, conservation planning, cost sharing on stuff like fencing, different seedings, water lines, better conserve farmland for agricultural use. They called me today and said, hey, I know we have the signed contract. We're reneging on it. We're not going to pay out on it. I'm just screwed. And unless they lift this pause on payment, I'm going to lose this farm.
This is the plan. This was the plan the entire time. Donald Trump comes in, starts ripping cords out of the wall for how government works, from the Department of Defense down to USDA, down to USAID, and then everything starts acting funny. Payments stop. You can't get a hold of people. Whatever. And then you blame the government. I wonder if anybody in Missouri or Iowa or Nebraska or Oklahoma or any other major part of farm country bothered to read the Darren Baxt written Department of Agriculture section of Project 2025, because this is exactly what they said they'd do. The agriculture part of Project 2025 calls out NRCS by name, calls out any and all conservation programs by name, and says they're gone by any means necessary. And that's just the beginning. Did you know they're going to try to go after the Farm Bill to decouple nutrition programs from farm support programs so they can go after them individually? My brother in Christ, you are 2 steps behind. While you're on the phone with NRCS trying to figure out what to do about your well money, you better start making calls to your insurance agent, because they're coming after crop insurance next. I will never in a million years understand why farm country overwhelmingly voted for a man who was promising to screw you over. I hope y'all make it, and for Christ's sake, I hope you do better next time, if there's a next time.
I wanted to start off by saying I did vote for Donald Trump. I might lose my farm because of the government. I got in bed with the government. I was promoting getting in bed with the government because I thought it was a good idea. We got a contract with them for $240,000. They called me today and said, hey, I know we have this signed contract. We're reneging on it. We're not going to pay out on it. What do you mean you're not going to pay out on it? So I've got all this stuff bought, and whenever I install it, you're not going to pay out. We had this contract. I made business decisions based on this contract. If we don't have that money, that's our hay money, that's our farm money, our farm payment money. If we don't have that money, we will lose this farm. So because I got in bed with the government, I spent money based on the contract that we signed. They're reneging on it. I'm just screwed. And unless they lift this pause on payment, I'm going to lose this farm. Best thing that they can tell me is get in touch with the congressmen and congresswomen and see if I can get something done about this. So I've reached out to Ann Wagner's office. That's the congresswoman of Missouri. I'm hoping that something comes out of that, but I don't have very high hopes of it. And if something doesn't change, we are going to lose this farm, and I am extremely stressed about it. Also, everybody says in the comments, Project 2025, didn't you read that? That's his platform. From my understanding, that wasn't his platform. That's not what he's running on.
Hey, Skylar, really unfortunate circumstance that you have found yourself in. I just want to share a couple things just really fast. You mentioned you voted for Donald Trump. You said that he said he wasn't doing Project 2025. Well, he lied to you. The Senate confirmed Project 2025 architect Russell Vought to lead powerful White House budget office. That is somebody that Trump put forth for the Senate to confirm. Oh, and during his campaign, Donald Trump to farmers, if I lose elections, you will not have a farm very long. Well, he won, and you're on the verge of losing your farm. He lied to you. Here's the thing. You said in one of your videos that you're not political, that you prefer to stay on the farm side of TikTok, and that's fine. Yeah, most people don't like to be in politics because it's confusing. It's really hard to understand. It's gives you a headache, right? Like, I totally get it. But here's the thing. When you are a farmer and you are going out to vote, and there could potentially be executive orders such as the one that has froze the funding to your farm, you think you would do a little bit of research about the candidates before you go and vote. This is something I don't really understand about rural voters. Growing up in a rural area, I am a Democrat. I vote blue because I do my research. I do my research on the candidate and the policy that they're running on. I don't just vote down party lines, though all the people I vote for are Democrats because the policies that they're running on are things that I support. One of those things was our farmers. And something I said in a previous video is that Democrats vote because they care about other people, Republicans vote because they care about themselves. And it seems you voted in likeliness of yourself because Trump told you that if he didn't win, farmers would lose their farm. So that was going to affect you personally. But you didn't care about everything else that he was talking about. You didn't care that he was going to hurt other people. But now it matters to you because it's affecting you. And it's really unfortunate because we rely on our farmers. I don't want to see farms shut down because we need you guys. But this is a direct consequence to your action. And I really wish you would just acknowledge the fact that it's not the government trying to take your farm. It's Trump, right? It's Trump. Because Trump is the one that is signing all these executive orders. Trump is the one that is ordering all of these agencies to stop funding. It is Trump. Acknowledge it's Trump. The sooner that we can collectively recognize that Donald Trump is hurting pretty much everybody in this country except his loyalists, the sooner that we can get him out of office. It could be a temporary freeze and you could get your money and then your contract is back in action. And then after that, are you still going to be upset with the government for withholding your funds? Or are you just going to ignore it all because you finally aren't being a victim of Trump's policies anymore? There is a lot that can be learned here, and there are consequences to elections.
By now, you've probably seen the video of this young farmer saying that he's at risk of losing his farm because he was taking part in a federal program that was assisting him in making some much needed improvements on his farm so that hopefully he could turn a bigger profit. But because presidential executive orders that have been signed have frozen the funds to those federal programs, he could lose his farm. And listen, I've seen the comments, the stitches, the duets, people telling him, FAFO, you voted for this. And if you'll allow me, I want to come at this from a different perspective. First of all, I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I've been a registered independent voter for the last 4 elections. That being said, yes, I did vote for Kamala Harris. And if this is where you stop listening, have a great rest of your day. Secondly, I don't watch mainstream or legacy media. All of the media I choose to consume is from outside of the US, primarily Al Jazeera and NPR. All that being said, that's the problem with using just a few issues to choose our elected officials, because that person running and their whole campaign team just wants you to believe that they are the best and the other side is the worst, that they want you to have the best world and the best life and the other side doesn't want you to have anything, and that these programs that are trying to help people are draining taxpayer dollars. They're making the American people lazy so that they can suck off the teat of American taxpayers. When the truth is, that's not even close to what it is. A lot of the programs, not all and not none, but a lot of the programs that people are trying to put in place are to try and help make Americans stronger themselves so that they're more self-reliant. But the problem is, most people are just going to listen to what that politician says and not think the 3 to 4 steps ahead to think, if this, then that. If they get rid of this, then what else goes with it? And that's where we all lose, because most people don't realize these bills are written in such a way that they intertwine programs. And if you undo one, you undo them all. Unfortunately, this is going to keep happening until people can stop and say, what else is this going to affect? And am I okay with that happening?
I do not understand why Trump hates farmers so much. Is it his disdain for hard work? First, it was getting rid of migrant workers who mostly work on farms. So there goes that for farmers. And then it's the tariffs. So farmers who export a lot of their crop, they're going to see a significant decrease in demand for their products to go to other countries. That's straight up Trump. And now they're talking about getting rid of subsidies for farmers. So you thought in an economy where you want women having more children, but it'll be more expensive to now feed them, that was a good idea. Like, farmers are the lifeblood. They're up there with like truck drivers. They're very important to our country. Guess for all those farmers in the red states who voted for Trump, thoughts and prayers, babe.
Many of us have seen that farmer posting on TikTok here talking about how he is essentially financially screwed now on his farm because of what's happening with USAID. And all I have to say is, oh well. Like, you got what you voted for, boo-boo. And he did later say he voted for Trump, even though he didn't say it in the first video, but let me be very clear about this. People who voted for Kamala in this mess right now, we say we voted for Kamala. So if you didn't say that, and you're not saying it on your own without someone asking, you voted for the orange baboon. So, yeah, oh well, like, what are we going to do about it? Nothing. What we needed to do was collectively vote for her on November 5th. But y'all thought that you could vote for hate because, oh, well, it's only going to affect those people over there, and we know who those people are. But instead, it's biting you in the ass. And that's what this comes down to. The first administration Trump had, his policies primarily attacked those people. Again, we know who they are. Pretty much anyone who's a marginalized community. This time around, his policies are even worse, and they're attacking white folks. And they're sitting here slack-jawed, drooling out the corner of their mouths because they can't figure out, why is he coming after us? We supported him. Girl, please. Like, you're as dumb as those people who had that rally a couple of days ago, the Venezuelans in Florida being like, we voted for Trump, where'd he go? Why is he... Girl, shut the fuck up. Shut every single fuck up, all of you. We told you this is going to happen. So that's why all of us are just like, oh well. As soon as he won, we knew that this was going to happen. Before he won, we did. And this is on you all. So solve it yourselves. And if you lose your farm, oh well, there's nothing we can do about it. You need to petition your guy. Good luck with that too. Because President Musk is out there actively dismantling departments and parts of the budget that would be helping you. But you know, he's Trump. He's our hero. Oh, good luck. Actually, no. Fuck it. I don't care.
You're surprised. You're a farmer for Trump, and you're surprised right now about what's going on, how you're not getting the funds that you were already contracted to get. Why are you so surprised about that? He told you exactly what he was going to do. His people told you exactly what they were going to do. We told you exactly what he was going to do. And now you're surprised. Hey, instead of feeling surprised, you should feel great again.
Farmers on TikTok complaining now about Trump, who voted for Trump. It's funny how people don't care about something until it directly affects them. Countless farmers are on the verge of losing their farms. One guy has a wheat farm. He's already lost $400,000 since Trump's been in office. Another guy has a sweet potato farm, 200 acres. He's already lost $500,000. Farmers in our country are losing their government contracts. The government is reneging on the contracts they already have with these farmers, and these farmers depend on these contracts. The agricultural sector relies on billions of dollars of government assistance for loans, grants, disaster relief, and conservation practices. These programs have been around since FDR. Now, a federal judge already blocked the funding freeze that Trump instilled because it's against the law. But farmers around the country, they're telling us, it's all over social media. They're receiving letters saying the government is just not going to be able to fulfill their contracts. These people are losing everything. They're having to sell their cattle to survive and pay bills. This is only the beginning. We're not even a month in. You see all these farmers on TikTok complaining.
American farmers are bracing for some big changes under President Trump's new immigration policy. They don't know what the future workforce could look like in an industry that relies very heavily on this migrant labor. Nearly half of America's farm workers, half, are thought to be undocumented.
American farms are on the decline. There was a 7% drop in farms from 2017 to 2022, according to the USDA. That's about 142,000 fewer farms in just 5 years. These days, farmers are up against bird flu outbreaks, higher costs for feed and fertilizer, and climate change. But their livelihoods depend on a reliable workforce. And now they're concerned about how President Trump's campaign promise to launch the largest deportation effort in American history will play out. Immigration taking center stage from day one.
First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
About 2/3 of crop workers are foreign-born. And while many come to the U.S. who are seasonal jobs legally through H-2A visas, the USDA estimates that 42% of crop laborers are undocumented. New Jersey farmer Kurt Alstead says his workers are all legally authorized, but he's watching closely to see what Trump does next. When we talk about the ripple effects of a potential mass deportation, labor is already hard enough to find as is. Could it be even more difficult to find across the board if that does happen?
Well, there's no question in the United States we have a shrinking workforce. Anything that happens from a policy standpoint that reduces people in our workforce is going to make it very difficult for industry, and certainly for agriculture. We would be in big trouble if we lost workforce.
The labor union, United Farm Workers, has already seen an uptick in migrants asking for help.
The threats are scary, but at the same time, farm workers more than anyone understand the reality that without them, this work is not going to get done.
And fewer workers could mean less homegrown produce, according to University of Montana economist Diane Charlton.
But there will be less domestically grown fruits and vegetables.
Does that mean more farms could go belly up?
Definitely.
Nate Chittenden, a third-generation New York dairy farmer, says his industry needs change.
We all want safe, affordable food in this country. We all realize that people that work hard deserve a chance to improve their lives. You know, we have to figure out what we can do to make that happen without breaking the system.